the kitchen. Let's go see what Trish is cooking.
Hey there, Trish Crepperati here, and welcome to the second episode of Cooking Outside the Box. On this episode, we are going to recreate a classic favorite, one of my past addictions. I know it's one of my son's favorite addictions, and I'm sure you may be still using it today. So we are going to look at the bistro, or what I like to call the pimped up hot pocket. Now, if you had one of these, you know how delicious they are. And there's actually a comedian out there who's actually created a whole shtick on this. You just Google Hot Pocket comedian, and I'm sure it's going to make your day. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to recreate one of these with fresh ingredients using puff pastry. So we all know that this little guy here takes a couple of minutes in the microwave. It's got a little fancy schmancy sleeve that makes it crispy in the microwave. Oh my gosh, deliciousness in 2 minutes. So Stouffer's has done a really good job of giving some variety of these things, and they actually don't taste too bad. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to make a fresh version. Now, don't get frightened with all this. This is all prepped ahead of time because I made quesadillas last night. I made beef quesadillas and chicken. So these are all the leftover vegetables because I knew I was going to do this episode today. So we just got peppers, mushrooms, onions, 2 types of cheese, my chicken, and I've got some flank steak that I just chopped up really fine so it cooks really evenly. And if you can see, I've got some not bad knife skills. Everything's cut almost equally, and that's my learning from the food channel. So if any of my food gods like Bobby Flay or Jamie Oliver or Giada is looking, you'll see that I've learned very well from your techniques that everything's cut evenly. And the reason for that is so that everything cooks at the same time and cooks evenly. The spices I'm using are really simple. These are my go-to spices for everything. I'm talking everything. Garlic powder, Montreal steak spice, Cajun, ground pepper. I have salt and Italian seasoning. So this is what the puff pastry looks like. It comes, you get it in the frozen bakery section of your grocery store where you find all the pie shells and whatnot. It's in a box, so you have to look for it. Some come rolled up and some come in flat sheets. But when you unroll it, this is what you find. So it's really easy to manage and work with. If you need to roll it out thinner, you can do it with your rolling pin. I prefer to use it just as it is. And please, you have to defrost or thaw it out in the fridge overnight. Don't try to do it at room temperature because this gets really sticky and really hard to manage, okay? So we have basically a rectangle here, and we want to make I want to try to make one chicken. Cut it right down the middle like that. Okay, so we've got one on top of the other. Get it? So gonna put the filling on one and put the other one over top of the other one. Okay, so that's how we're going to make that. Just going to cook down the vegetables first. I use olive oil only for cooking. I don't use anything else, olive oil or butter. I don't use vegetable oil, soy oil, corn oil, anything like that. But olive oil is a pure oil. It's better for your body. Your body knows what to do with that versus a corn oil which could be modified in some way. But olive oil is my favorite. It adds flavor. It's a pure oil, and it cooks really good. So I cook at medium-low heat. So the olive oil does not burn, but it adds amazing flavor. I'm going to add the mushrooms next. Again, you guys can add whatever vegetables you want. These just happen to be the ones that were left over from our quesadilla last night. Quesadillas. So I knew I was going to do this today, so I cut out some extra vegetables. You can use whatever vegetables you want. Okay, I'm just showing you one version. We can all reinvent our own versions, right? And again, remember the spices I said I use? So I'm going to just do some right in with the vegetables, give them some flavor. And I'm going to add some garlic powder. Again, these are my go-to spices. some Montreal steak spice. This adds the pepper and a little bit of spice to it. Cajun, not cayenne. Cajun gives some heat, but it adds just enough. It's not hot like cayenne. Okay. A little bit of salt and some fresh ground pepper. And see how nice the onions are caramelizing? So I like it like that, and you can see the spices in there. So don't be afraid to put the flavor in. Flavor's flavor. You want to give your food some flavor. So I like the onions, the way they're caramelizing there. Really nice. It smells amazing. I don't know what it is about mushrooms and onions, but they smell amazing. I'm just going to add the peppers. They won't take long to cook down. And the mushrooms have some moisture in it, and so do the peppers. So you notice I haven't added any more oil. I may add a bit more depending on how this goes here. So you can see they are breaking down nicely here. Just gonna break up some of the bigger pieces there so it all fits in there evenly. This smells amazing. Vegetables and stuff are done now. I'm going to just transport those into a pan, a bowl. Put them in a bowl, let them rest there. And now I'm going to just get that meat done. Again, all the juices that are in there. Add a little bit more olive oil for those guys. Pan's already nice and hot. And again, this is just flank steak that I've just cut into pieces from last night's quesadillas. Hear that sizzle? That's what you're supposed to hear, especially when you're cooking meat this fast. Again, I'm going to my go-to spices here. Garlic powder. Don't be shy because you're adding flavor here. Cajun. Montreal steak spice. Toss that around. You can marinate your beef ahead of time to see how nice those little, because you want to get them nice and crispy, right? So you don't want anything that's, and you want them to cook evenly in the hot pocket as well. A little bit of salt. And then, of course, crushed ground pepper. They don't take long. Again, these are flank steaks, so they cook really quickly. Get a bowl so we can put them in. So nice and brown there. Oh, it smells amazing. Especially, and the reason that I cook the beef after is because it has all the flavor of the vegetables already. If you cook the meat first, it doesn't always have that flavor. So I don't know about you, but if I have any vegetables to cook ahead of time, I cook them first and then I cook the meat after. And see how it's starting to get some juice coming out of there. We want to make sure that we wait for that to reduce a bit before we take it out of the pan. At this point you can add barbecue sauce or whatever you want to do. You know what? Sounds like a good idea. I'm going to do just that. And add a little bit of barbecue sauce. Why not, right? It's all about the meat. Adds more flavor. See, you just kind of vent as you go here. Oh, that smells good. And barbecue sauce will add that flavor. You can add whatever barbecue sauce you want, or sriracha sauce, whatever you want to do. Okay? So those are now cooked. I'll put them in our bowl. All those juices in there. Yum. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble the hot pockets, the homemade hot pockets with puff pastry or puff pastry pockets. I'm just gonna Heat the oven to 400 degrees. We'll preheat it for 400. That way it'll be ready for us when we're ready to do that. Have a bit of egg wash here. What you want to do is just run the ends of the egg wash. This is going to help seal it later after we've done the filling, okay? And I can tell you right now that once you do this with the puff pastry, you'll be looking at a gazillion recipes to do what else can you make puff pastry with. Again, my first experience with it was the French onion soup at that wedding, and it was topped with this puff pastry. So the puff pastry sealed the top of the soup, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. But I've seen people use it in, so say a chicken pot pie. People don't always like the crust underneath, right? So people have used puff pastry just for the top of the pie. So all the filling goes in the pot, and then they put a sheet of puff pastry over top, and it bakes and seals the pie, and there's no crust underneath, and oh my gosh, it's amazing. So I'm sure like you like me, you'll think of a bunch of different recipes to use. So we're going to do 2 beef and 2 chicken. Okay, so we're going to start with our cheese. I've got mozzarella and cheddar. Just put a little bit of each. Remember, you don't want to go too far with the ingredients because you want them to stay in the pocket. That's the whole idea. We don't want it oozing out the side, right? Now you can make your pastry pockets bigger than this. You can do them half and make a massive one, whatever the sizes you want to do, but these are snack portions, which is what I'm doing here. And remember, you can, once you're done this part, you can freeze these and just pop them into a 400-degree oven for 20 minutes at any time. So you got them in the freezer. So if you want to do this during the week, like take the weekend and make a bunch of these and put them in the freezer, then you got a bunch for the week. The kids can take them out of there and do that. So way healthier and way better for them. So we're just going to put some meat in here. Again, we want to arrange it so it's not going to come out the side. And remember that all that beef, and we did add the barbecue sauce. I can still smell it now, so it smells amazing. And then we're going to take some of the vegetables we did, put them in there. How good does that look? And you can pronounce the ingredients. Again, this is going to take a little longer to prepare and cook rather than the instant one you put in the microwave. But I want to just show you that you can have more control over what you're putting in it. Again, this is just chicken I cooked last night for the quesadillas. It's seasoned with my favorite seasoning: garlic salt, Montreal steak spice, Cajun, olive oil. And again, I did all the vegetables first and then put the chicken in. It had all the nice flavor of it. And we're going to add some vegetables here. This looks delicious. I can't wait for you guys to see this and for me and my family to eat this. This is going to be really, really, really... The flavor is amazing, and the puff pastry is so flaky. It's like that, you know, the best pie you've ever had crust. Amazing. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit more cheese on that. Because who doesn't love cheese, right? I'll show you a little secret at the end that I do there. So we want to make sure that it's kind of centered, because the top one that's going to go over is going to be sealed along the edges. And we don't want the poor thing exploding. Again, you like me will probably get carried away. So now, when you're preparing your pastry dough too, that if you have it cut up ahead of time, put it back in the fridge and let it sit before you're ready to use it. Now I like to stretch this one just a little bit more over, because this is one that's going to go over the top, right? So it stretches really super easy, but we want to give it a little bit more give on that, so it wraps around that. And we have our special guest here. Bernadette has just arrived, wondering what I'm doing in the kitchen and how come she wasn't invited. Just going to lay them over like that. Again, we're just stretching them out a bit, give it a little bit more stretch on the top because it's got to fit over all that yummy stuff. And then we'll say hi to Bernadette in just a second here, because I think it's just nearly her lunchtime again. Funny how I managed to do that, right? Okay, so you see how they fit right over top of each other? Then all you do is take a fork, and all you're going to do is you're going to crimp the ends like that. So make sure it's sealed really well. Hope you guys can see this because I've got the camera up there. All the way around, okay? That seal is what's going to keep everything inside. So don't be shy. Make sure you do a really good job on that. Just like a pie crust, make sure nothing pops out. Just look like. Then what you want to do after we're done that is you definitely want to take a knife and you just want to poke the top because you want the steam to come out. You don't want these things exploding, right? So just a quick crimp in the center like that. Then, before the magic starts, we're going to egg wash the whole thing. Okay, this is where the jewel comes. This is how you get the color and the golden color. Like if you ever had a pie made by your grandmother or your mother, it's got that nice golden color. This is the secret. Without this, you're going to have a kind of a blonde pastry, but it won't have all that really good golden color. Now, if you don't want to use the white of the yolk of the egg, just use the yolk. Then you get a much, much deeper color of golden with it. So this gives you a little lighter version. Again, don't be shy because this is what makes it nice and golden color. It's already got all the ingredients in it to make it puffy, but we want it to make it look really spectacular because we eat with our eyes first, right? Okay. A little bit much on there, but that's okay. Okay, so the secret now that I have on these guys is, again, I take my garlic salt. Once that egg wash is done, I put another little bit of garlic salt on the top of each one after the egg wash is gone so it sticks. But this gives the puff pastry a really nice flavor. So a little bit of garlic salt on the top, and then I take some Italian seasoning. Oh my goodness, and I just sprinkle it on top. Look how nice that looks. Just gives it that much more flavor. It's kind of like a flavored dough. So this is just my secret. I just found that this works really well. You can use whatever spices you want on top. You can do peppers or Cajun or whatever you want. But I find that the garlic salt and the Italian seasoning just gives that puff pastry a really nice flavor. Look how amazing those look. Okay, the oven just preheated. We're going to tuck these guys into the oven. Remember, 400 degrees for 20 minutes. Middle rack. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait until they're done. Hi Bernie, you want another pepper? She's coming. She heard me cooking down here, so she's coming down to get her peppers. Oh, I caught a few vegetables for her too. Is that good, honey? She's always cooking and she's always in the kitchen if I'm in here. You want another one? There we go. That's the last one. Okay, there's your treat for today. Do you like that, Bernie? Yes, I like that. Thank you. Okay, we'll see you after, okay? We see you after, okay? Bye. Okay, let's take a peek at these guys. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna just open this up. Would you look at that? Oh my goodness, I can't wait until they come out. 3 more minutes. See you in 3.
Super lazy turbo chef.
Take the pepperoni out of the fridge, throw it in the microwave for 10 minutes, put it in your pocket.
took 53 minutes to prepare that. So this takes, read the instructions here. Christine, enter crisping sleeve, leave it open, place on plate, cook on high 2 minutes, let stand 2 minutes. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so this is what it comes like in the package. So let's see what magic we can get out of that versus that. I think I know the answer, but let's do it together. Okay, so it beeped at 2 minutes, so we're gonna take it. It looks like oozing all over the place there. But let's just do that and slide it onto the plate. That's your microwave version of your Bistro Crostini. And now let's take one of these guys and put it next to it. And you guys tell me which one is gonna, let's just take this one. Oh, look at that. It's so light and fluffy, it's ridiculous. Okay, so let's have a go at this here. Okay, so I'm gonna open the microwave one first. Let's just cut them open and see what they look like inside, okay? So, I'm just gonna do this because I like this way better. Look at the crisp on that thing. Oh my goodness. So let's take a little peek here. This is the inside of the microwave one. Oh, super hot too. I'm gonna take a bite. Ooh. Super salty. Like super salty. The crust tastes I don't know, microwave crust. I don't know. Boy, I don't know how I even survived on those things, but wow, that brings back memories. Let's take a look at the inside of the puff pastry one. Look at that flake on that crust. Oh my goodness. So let's take a bite of that. Oh my God. Are you kidding me now? That puff pastry is buttery. It's flaky. The inside, you can taste the seasoning on the meat and the vegetables and the cheese. Oh my gosh, like come on, there's no comparison. I want you guys to take this recipe and I want to make it with your family. I want you to take the pizza pocket or the hot pocket one and I want you to do exactly what I do. And I guarantee that if you get them eating this versus that, they'll never go back. So by the time they leave your home, guess what? They're going to be making these guys. Let me take another bite because that was incredible. Oh my God. The chicken, perfectly seasoned. So the difference here is I know what went in this recipe. You saw me cooked with the ingredients. I know what flavoring I like. I can pronounce the ingredients. I don't have to use whatever this is. Look at that. Who knows? In the microwave? I thought you were supposed to foil in the microwave, but oh well. I didn't have to use one of these. That was delicious. You have no idea. I want you to go ahead and do that recipe. I want you to fill it with whatever your favorites, your family favorites are. Have some fun with it. But I want you to try it and I want you to post how your family liked it in the preparation and the taste. It's like unbelievable. And don't forget that as you're preparing them and you're doing a big batch of them, you can freeze them. Okay, so freeze a bunch, do it on a single sheet in the freezer, and then you can put them in individual bags. That way when you are coming home, you got baseball or hockey practice or whatever you got to do, throw them in the oven at 400 for 20 minutes. Guess what? They're portable. So you take them with you, put in some tin foil, take them with you. The kids can eat them at the hockey game or on the way to the game. Super nutritious. Like, come on, you can't even compare that. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Cooking Outside the Box with Trish Craparata and my version on the Hot Pocket. I call this the pimped up version of Hot Pocket using puff pastry. So you guys have a great day and enjoy cooking with your family, and we'll see you on the next episode.